Thank you. Good morning. Thank you for the invitation.
All right. Now, why did you see the need to develop policy in the small business development?
Well, policy is there. Let's start from there. Policy was developed as way back as in 1995, and there's been review of that policy throughout after every 10 years. It is the government of the African National Congress that decided we needed to have a standalone ministry rather than having work streams within the Department of Trade and Industry, so that we would have a focused approach to small business development.
And who are the people who make up the SMME Colloquium Committee, and what will their task be?
In the main, it's people that have been in the space of small business development, but including big business too. It's academics, it's practitioners, it's basically people that have had an experience in small and medium enterprises. We want to tap into that experience that they've had in the past 20 years, so that as we move forward, we know exactly what the challenges of the past have been, particularly in the past 20 years. But more than anything else, we believe as a department that it's not possible for us alone to deal with the issue of small business development, but also connect it to the economic development. You know that our economy is not doing very well, but everyone is pulling through to try and see what we can do. So this colloquium that we are in partnership with the Small Business Development Institute is because we're looking for partners that can really bring value to the work that we do as a department.
Minister, what are some of the topics that are going to be under discussion today?
It is the state of small and medium enterprises today, the legislative environment, the regulatory environment, and also what the challenges are facing small and medium enterprises. But what I think is also more important is just sharing of experiences even from other countries, because South Africa is said to be one of the lowest when it comes to entrepreneurship. And therefore we need to really make sure that we bring on board to work with us, because as a department, we've already done our 5-year strategic plan, but also is to put into perspective the role of small and medium enterprises as envisaged by the National Development Plan. So it's about putting activity, action into the National Development Plan. It's about making it work.
Yeah, making it work and making small business work, because I mean, you look at many countries and small business is the backbone of any economy. It just it gives livelihood and creates jobs and gives so much to our overall GDP. Now, it's quite fascinating that this colloquium comes on the eve before our midterm budget is announced by our Finance Minister, Nhlanhla Nene. Do you have hopes of what the minister is going to do for small businesses?
Well, absolutely. The very fact that there was a decision to form the ministry was a very important input to the building of the economy, first and foremost, but also the empowerment of people that had been previously disadvantaged, that were out of the economy. Our responsibility is to look at how small and medium enterprises can actually tap in, for instance, into available possibilities within government, in the procurement system, but not just in government, even in business itself. So this colloquium will actually just look at what is it that is existing, for instance, in government. What has transport got for small and medium enterprises? What does social development have? And also let's not forget the fact that it's small business development and cooperatives. The role of cooperatives also here is very important. And unfortunately, in South Africa, cooperatives have been taken like something that is just there for poor people, a few people that don't have much to do, that don't know what to do, and therefore they can be brought into cooperatives. If we look at the international trend of where cooperatives are and what they can input into the economy of a country is quite huge, including here in the African continent. You go to Kenya, you go to Burundi, you go to Uganda, you find that they way ahead of South Africa. We need to do a catch-up.
Yeah. A lot of people questioning what the department is doing for small businesses. I suppose maybe this is your moment to say what your department, a brand new department, much excitement around its formation because of the desperate need of small businesses for help. What is it that you're doing for small businesses?
The first and most important thing for us as a department is to understand the state of small business and cooperatives. Where are they? How many are they? How many of them are sustaining? How many of them are collapsing? The figures are showing us very negatively that many of them collapse within the first year before, and therefore our responsibility as a department is to deeply find out what is it that's making them collapse, what are the challenges that they face. And relatively we know, because the Department of Trade and Industry was there and Economic Development, so the basis as to what exactly is happening we already know, but we need to dig deeper than just
I know what you're saying, yeah.
So that at the end of the day, whatever policy changes that we might need to do, we have to know what we're doing. That's why I want to say that it's not to say there's no policy.
Yeah.
Policies have been there. The biggest challenge that South Africa faces, not only just in small and medium enterprises, it's always about the implementation of our policies.
Yeah.
So our focus is going to be much more than how do we implement the policies that are already existing, but how do we tweak the ones that are not, how do we change the ones? Let me just make an example. The other day I was looking at what was happening in Bara when the police were confiscating goods for the hawkers. And when I was digging deeper into the regulatory environment, I realized that some of the regulatory environment that's there dates way back to the draconian laws during the time of apartheid. Now we can't have that happening anymore. That is the reason why you now have a department that's going to be focused on that. What I think is important for us is how are we going to coordinate and make sure that at all levels of government, from provincial, national, and at the lowest level, what is it that we need to do to make sure that the people that are on the ground, from a government perspective, really understand the role of small and medium enterprises, and then what is it that they need to do? Because as a department sitting at national, there's just no way that we can be able to do this.
Yeah.
It's a mammoth task, it's a huge task, so we'll call upon all structures of government to be in support. And I think that from what I have experienced, most of my colleagues understand that very well.
All right.
Business also must come on board.
Indeed.
They have a very important role to play here. They've got bigger pockets than small businesses do, so they can also come on board and help us.
Well, I have to agree with you, and I wish you all the best with the colloquium that's happening this
Thank you.
afternoon. Lots of work ahead for small businesses. Lindiwe Zulu, who is the Minister of Small Business Development here in South Africa, thank you very much for being with us on the
Thank you, Leanne, and
program.
have a good day.